प्रेम से बोलिए श्री राम नाम सत्य है सब ही हो घट है. My dear sympathizers, we all assembled at this pious and humble home this morning to bid farewell to a noble member of the community who has passed away, having left this mortal coil late. This is Ina Narine, or better known as Yasmin. Okay? We live on this planet Earth, which is called Mrityulok. The word Mrityu means death and Lok means planet. Earth is the planet where death is inevitable. Once we are born, a day will come, we have to leave this mortal coil. However, according to the tenets of Hinduism, we do not identify with the body but with the Atma or the soul. And during the course of life of a Hindu, from the time of conception of a baby in the mother's womb, there are rites and rituals that are performed called sanskars. And these end with the final one, which is when the soul has left the body, that we have to dispose the body because it is going to disintegrate. This is called in English the funeral service. But in Hindi it's called the Anteshti Sanskar. So we are here this morning having no choice, the soul having left the body, as we prepare this body for cremation or to dispose of it because it is going to disintegrate. We are all going to meet this one day in our life. It is going to happen. It is the only sure thing on earth. So I kindly ask you at this time, your presence here this morning is testimony to show the type of individual this lady has been while she was here on earth, to take time off beside family members, relatives, neighbors and all, to pay farewell to this Atma and the body devotees of the late Yasmin or Ina who has passed away. I want to kindly ask you to stand at this time. If it's not possible for you to stand, stay seated. And in your way, what is important now is prayer, worship and adoration to the Lord as we beg the Lord's mercy upon her soul. During the course of life, she had no biological children, okay? Okay, but here her nephew this morning, her sister's son, is going to do all the necessaries on her behalf. The son, take your correct name and her correct name. Meditate on Lord Vishnu and ask the Lord in your Akashic records in the heavens to document that this day, date and time in this part of this country, of this world, that you are here to perform this Anteshti Sanskar or the funeral rites of your late aunt who has left us. Hari Om. Tat Sat Tat Sat Tat Sat Srimad Bhagavate Mahapurushaye Vishnu Ragya Pravatamanasya Adda Brahman Dvitiya Paradhe Vishnu Pare Shri Sveta Vadaha Kalpe Vaivasmanavantare Ashtavinshati Tame Kali Yuge Kali Pratam Charni West Indies Kande Trinidad De Sangre Grande Gramse Good Hope Street Nagare Se Anal Nam Sanavastare Sri Surya Dakshinayan Ashwin Maase Sri Krishna Pakshe Dvitiya Tithi Sri Shani Bare Uttar Bhadrapad Nachatra Hari Om Sri Meena Rasi Nana Nam Bhaktya, your name and her name, Hari Om Sri Amuk Pretasya Anteshti Sanskar Karishye Namaha. Prem se boliye Sri Vishnu Bhagavan ki jai. Ram Nam Satya hai sab hi ho ghat hai. Join your hands once more in prayer as we ask the Lord's mercy upon this Atma or the soul. Take a flower. Hari Om. Shantakaram bhujagashainam padmanabham shuresham vishwadharam gagana sadrisham meghavaranam subhangam Lakshmikantam kamalanainam yogi virdhyanagamyam Vande Vishnu bhavbhayharam sarvalokaikanaatham महाविष्णु भगवान दया करो रक्षा करो क्षमा करो बोलो श्री राम नाम सत्य है सब ही हो घट है. Kindly be seated. patishtatam. All right, person, yeah. In Adhyamu gotrasya mukha pretasya mritisthane shaunimit atarmayadiya devo patishtatam. Present right in front, yeah. Puramaha. Adhyamukha gotrasya mukha pretasya mritisthane shaunimit pushpamala mayadiya devo patishtatam. Om Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Hari Om Sri Atarmayadiya Devo Patishtatam. Om Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Mritistane Shaunamit Deepanam Mayadiya Devo Patishtatam. Jai Krishna Hare Sri Krishna Hare Dukhiyo ko dukh dur kare Jai 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 Krishna Hare जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो आशा का दूर किनारा हो और कोई नहीं बंधारा हो तब तू ही मेरा पार करो तब तू ही मेरा पार करो जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जब तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे विष को भी अमृत कर दे पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे फिर जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे प्रेम से बोलिए राम नाम सत्य है सब ही हो घट है Shri Ram Nam Satya Hai Sabhi Ho Ghat Hai. In the Hindu calendar, there are 5 lunar dates which come every month that is called Pancha. Okay, and it's very auspicious, especially where that has occurred. And in reality, really, whenever this body is being disposed of, which is at the funeral time. But as I mentioned to you, that anything in Hinduism, there is negative, there is something to do, we can counteract it. So that little ritual we have just done here is called the Pancha Shanti. At this point in time, I want to invite close relatives to please come and pay your respects, all those who would like to do so. Right? Bolo Shri Ram Nam Satya Hai Sabhi Ho Ghat Hai. Now, bhajans are religious songs that bring messages with them. And this bhajan tells us, most times you tend to hear them at funeral time, but they are really meant for when we are alive, to remind us of the importance of us being here as humans and what really is our purpose in life. This one tells us that one day we'll all have to leave this world and go. Be you the king or the vagrant, be you the most knowledgeable or illiterate, death recognizes no indifference. Endlessly we study the scriptures to get over the issue of death. But it is rough and treacherous waters of the world. The boat of life is thrown hither and thither. The pathway of the Lord, the name of the Lord, activities pertaining that are God-related helps to make this trip easier. एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार और एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार और एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार जिनके लाख परदीप बरत है हो जिनके लाख परदीप बरत है हो जाते वहाँ तपसार और जाते वहाँ तपसार और एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार और एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार राजा रंक के काल नहीं चिन्हत राजा रंक के काल नहीं चिन्हत सबके करत आहार और सबके करत आहार और एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार और एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार वेद पुराण ग्रंथ बहु विधि पद वेद पुराण ग्रंथ बहु विधि पद कोई न पावत पार कोई न पावत पार और एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार और एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार भव सागर में जीवन नैया हो भव सागर में जीवन नैया हो राम लगावे पार राम लगावे पार और एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार और एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार बोलो श्री राम नाम सत्य है सब ही हो घट है We all should be in constantly on that road to God's realization, that we ask the Lord that when that time comes, the soul will leave this body, which is definite in our life. Once we are born, there will be death. That may that name of yours, O Lord, always be upon our lips. But the Bhagavad Gita explains what is the last impression at the moment of death. When the soul is about to leave this body, destines the future state of the soul. So let his mind always be constantly revering your lotus-like feet. मुझे अपने शरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपने शरण में ले लो राम लोचन मन में जगे हो तो लोचन मन में जगे हो तो युगल चरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपने शरण में ले लो राम जीवन देखे जाल बिछाया रच की माया नाचन छाया चिंता मेरे तवे मिटेगी चिंता मेरी तभी मिटेगी जब चिंतन में ले लो राम मुझे अपने शरण में ले लो राम तुम्हारे लाखों पापी तारी मेरे बारी बाजी हारी मेरे पासन पुण्य की पहुँची मेरे पासन पुण्य की पहुँची पद पूजन में ले लो राम मुझे अपने शरण में ले लो राम राम हे राम राम हे राम राम हे राम राम हे राम घर घर अत को दर दर भक्तो कहाँ कहाँ अपना शिर पकतो इस जीवन में मिलन तुम तो राम हे राम इस जीवन में मिलन तुम तो मुझे मरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपने शरण में ले लो राम बोलो राम नाम सत्य है सब ही हो घट है ओम मध्यामुगोत्रस्य मुखप्रेतस्य मृत्युस्थाने शवनिवेत आतर गंधनं श्रीदीपनं मया दीयते भोपतिष्ठताम्. One bhajan tells us that there are, according to the philosophy of Hinduism, the Lord has created 8,400,000 species of lives. They are called Chaurasi Lakh Yoni. And these are divided into 4 main categories called Andaj, Ukbaj, Pindaj, and Astravar. You have lives that are born from wombs. We are yet the highest. Lives that come from eggs. Lives that are sweat-born, microscopic and otherwise, and the plant kingdom. Of the 8,400,000, there isn't a body that is higher than the human body the soul can ever get to come and live in. And when we come into this world, we have the privilege with this body that we can cut asunder the issue of the cycles of births and death, where the soul can merge in oneness with God, the state that we call moksha, final beatitude, or where the Atma merges into Paramatma, the state of non-return. But it all depends on how we use this body whilst we are blessed with it. But the logical law of the universe is the law of karma. We are the creators of our destiny. How we make our bed, so we will lie. What one plants is that is what one going to reap. So what the Bhajan tell us? We are here for a short period of time. Please do not waste this gifted body. For you will come alone in this world, and you are going to live alone. Nobody will go with you. Even if you ask them to come with you, they want to come. Nobody will go with you. Nobody really belongs to you. Due to the issue of Maya or the illusion of the Lord, we tend to attach my wife, my father, my son, my daughter, my husband, etc. But does anybody belong to you? No. Only Mother Earth waits on us when it's time to go. The house, the land, the assets, the money, everything that is perceived by the senses of perception, they stay right here. You cannot carry it with you. Carrying it with you, you're wasting it. It will go to ashes in a little while. What is recommended? Yes, we have to live on this earth. We have to survive here. But always be on the pathway to God's realization. Anybody else wish to pay your respect, please? I invite you to come and do so now. Right? Always try to be in holy environments where there is worship to the Lord, listening and chanting His praises and adoring Him. Jhute janam gavaya sadhu, jhute janam gavaya o sadhu, jhute janam gavaya. एक पिता के हम सब लड़के, धरती हमरे माता। एक पिता के हम सब लड़के, धरती हमरे माता। कुटुम्बक पीला संघन साथी, कुटुम्बक पीला संघन साथी। कौल डंक बजाया साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया ओ साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया, झूठे जन्म झूठे जन्म गवाया ओ साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया। दो दिन तो पहुनाई जगत में, माया में भर माया। Anybody else wish to pay respect, please come. दो दिन तो पहुनाई जगत में, माया में भर माया। धन दौलत कुछ का मनवावे, धन दौलत कुछ का मनवावे। छूट जाएंगी यह काया साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया ओ साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया। सत्संग की गंगा बही है, कोमल जिसका धारा। सत्संग की गंगा बही है, कोमल जिसका धारा। करिय स्नान बिमल कर काया, करिय स्नान बिमल कर काया। पापिन पाप कराया साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया ओ साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया। झूठे जन्म झूठे जन्म गवाया। बोलो राम नाम सत्य है, सब ही हो घट है। Devotees, the philosophers say life does remain trapped in this body like a bird in a cage. And when you hear this bird ravaging, you say the bird happy. How you'll know that? Put you in a cage and feed you through the wire and see how you'll feel, if you'll be happy. Just think about it. Right? So too in life, the soul is trapped in this body due to a karmic situation. And due to the karma, some people are smiling and some are sad. That is how the life goes. But we bring with us karmas from previous birth. And they have every action has a reaction to it. Okay? इंजरी के पंचेरे तेरा दर्द न जानी कोई तेरा दर्द न जानी कोई बाहर से तूफान मोश रही तो भीतर भीतर रोई रे भीतर भीतर रोई रे तेरा दर्द न जानी कोई तेरा दर्द न जानी कोई पिंजरे के पंजरे तेरा दर्द न जानी कोई तेरा दर्द न जानी कोई कहानी मीन्स द लाइफ स्टोरी कह न सके तो अपनी कहानी तेरी भी पंछी क्या जिंदगानी रे विधि ने तेरी कथा लिखी आंसू में कलम बोए तेरा दर्द न जानी कोई तेरा दर्द न जानी कोई पिंजरे के तेरा दर्द न जानी कोई तेरा दर्द न जानी कोई In life, the great philosophers say, we are smiling, but we are grinding. We force a smile on this face to make believe happiness, but inside the heart there are troubles and problems and worries and all of these and so on. छुप के रोने वाले रखना छिपा के दिल के छाले रे छुप के रोने वाले रखना छिपा के दिल के छाले रे ये पत्थर का देश है पगले कोई न तेरा हो तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई पिंजरे के पंजरे दर्द न जाने कोई प्रेम से राम नाम सत्य है सब ही हो घट है Pick up love in your hand, please. Again, my dear sympathizers, we are here to bid farewell to this most noble individual of the community, the late Mrs. Ina Narine, or better known as Yasmin. I think she was born in coal mine, right? Got married with, everybody know, Mr. Ganesh Narine, who had known him. When they heard the word goat, there's only one goat that have is Ganesh. And he too was so affiliated and lived so nicely with everyone in the community, and especially had a special love for music. So due to the music also, many people would have visited this home. And so they would have also met her and became affiliated with her. I have known her since I came to the community here so long. And a very humble, pious, down-to-earth, simple personality she was. Doing what she had to do. Because you see, say good always flows in the channels it has once selected. She had come from very good stock. That is the Shanti and Dina and all of them, that family from coal mine up there. And that personality that she has is not different than to expect. For knowing the family, you would have known what type of individual she was while she was alive. We all here upon this earth, as I said one day, Kala Danka Bajaya. What Kal means? Death. Dunk means a knock on your door. Death will knock on your door, and it's time for you to leave this world. Now, this one thing, it don't have if you know him good or you know him good or he know you. It'll have a little 2 weeks, you want a little 2 weeks break to straighten out some issues. When it's time to go, you have to go. And that's why the wise, knowing this, you know what they tell themselves? Take care, tomorrow will be my last day. Do we all know? We all start here. Who knows which day? It could be mine next minute. Let me try and do the best I can with this body. Right? Always try to do the best you can. For this is the highest body in God's creation of 8,400,000 species. And really what we are supposed to do with this body here? Just two simple things. Right? Two simple things. It's called par upakar. And what is par upakar? Serve the Lord and His creation with a guileless heart. Just serve the Lord and try your best and do as much good you can with this body whilst God bless you with it. Do good as much as you can, whilst you can, when you can, as long as you can. Do not sit down and wait for good to come to you to do it. Look for avenues to do good with this body. Right? This is what is going to help us when we have to leave here. Okay? But every action has a reaction to it. In these issues, having lived upon this earth, how old she was? 73. All right, 73. Okay? So let us look for a minute to see. The Western counting of time is 70, right? It says 70 years, so she overlived that, right? 70. But I see least amount. The Hindu counting of time is 1,007 full moons, which works out to be approximately 83.4 years. Right? And the average scripture tells us that the average lifespan of a human should be 100 years. Right? This year makes it 400 years since Tulsi Das, who wrote the Ramayana, passed away. Tulsi Das was born in 1497. He died in 1623. He lived for 126 years. Can we make that? Huh? So let me say she still make well the least of counting in time. Okay? But still it remains a puzzle to us, you know. All the time this person is here and suddenly you are not here. Just think about it. Is it a dream? Am I dreaming? Does it really happen? Yes. So Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita gives us consolation on what he says. Hari Om Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Vande Jagat Guru Ya inang veti hantarang ya chaivanang manyate hatam ubhavatav nabinanito naniyang hantati haniyate. He said, Arjun, my disciple, that person is considered to have possessed the highest excellence in wisdom. Who can see and realize there's a difference between the body and the soul? When we look at ourselves in the mirror, we say, this is me. But is this really me and you? Out of illusion, we say, yes, this is me. This is how I'm made up. All right? But did anybody this morning ask what time Yasmin coming from the funeral home? Huh? Anybody ask what time is Yasmin coming from the funeral home? What you asked this morning? What time the body is coming? With the soul having left the body, now we see there's a difference between body and soul. So Lord Krishna is saying, we are not this body, the material body, but we are the eternal spark of God that comes into the body to bring life to it. Whilst there's consciousness, we could identify with it, but it does not mean when it has left the body, it has died. No, it continues to live on. That person is very wise and would have possessed the highest excellence of wisdom. Who can see that and who can realize it? He said, na jayate mriyati va kadachi kotrayang bhutva bhavita bhana bhuyaha ajo nitya shastravyang kuranu na hanyate hanyam ano sharirang. He said the soul is never born, so how it could die? If something does not have birth, it cannot have death. This soul is the most ancient thing, Lord Krishna says. It existed before it came into the body. Again, whilst in the body and there's consciousness, you could identify with it. But when it leaves, it can die still. Nothing dies, Lord Krishna is saying. The soul don't die and the body don't die. Why the body don't die? Because the body is made up of 5 gross elements of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And matter cannot be created nor destroyed. You can't create matter, you cannot destroy it. And that's why you notice in any Hindu funeral, the coffin is rested 5 places on the ground, where ritual is performed each time called a manzil. And every time you do that ritual, you ask that the elements released into its natural state. Water go back to water, air to air, earth to earth, ether to ether, etc. So if the body don't die and the soul don't die, why fear death? The philosophers say, why fear death? And because of the issue too, once you're born, you have to die. Many have tried it before to evade death. They tried to outsmart the Lord, but it didn't pay off, right? Have a little analogy that tells us that, You know, every day, the messenger of death comes on earth, right? And he does have a listen who want to go today, right? So that morning when he came down and he watched it at the top of the list, he seen the king's name. So he started to think, the king is a man with plenty of responsibility. I should notify him. So when he passed by the gate, by the guard, the palace gate, he saw the guard. So he informed the guard, I am the messenger of death. Your king has to go today. But I know he's a man with plenty of responsibilities. Notify him for me, please, I'm coming back. Having left him, the guard ran inside to notify the king. So the king was a quick thinker. He said, here's something, boy. With this kind of weather, you serving me by watching my palace every day in this hot sun. Would you like to play king for a day? Huh? Well, he liked the idea. He said, give me your clothes and take mine. So the guard sitting down on the king's throne, and the king by the gateway with the guard's clothes. He said, well, he definitely smart, I will smart him today. Late in the evening, hurriedly, the messenger of death coming up. He said, did you tell him? He said, yes, he's waiting for you inside. Go ahead, he's waiting, prepare. He said, boy, if I tell you, look at the time, how late it is. You see, when it's coming to die, nobody wants to die. Nobody likes to die. Now, you think, if we only have birth and no death, what will happen? Just think about it, right? Whenever the soul gets into a body due to a karmic situation of the 8,400,000 species, it is get to like it and it do like to leave it. Have you ever tried to kill a cockroach? Huh? Now I'm telling you, look at reality, it will run for its life. Any issue that the soul has taken that body, do like to leave it. Right? So he told him, he said, boy, if I tell you something, when it comes to death, nobody wants to die. But he said, if I tell you something, look how late it is. He said, I ain't had time to go inside, but I had to carry somebody who carry you instead. So what you look at, was it the God's time or the king's time? It was the king's time. And none of us knows when that moment will reach, when our number will call. So the wise always on the alert and is always preparing for it. We don't know when it can be. And that's why in Hinduism, devotees, it's important to note all these rites and rituals are so important, because although the soul has left the body, you can still help the soul. Right? This period of time that we is called Pitra Paksh, which is dedicated to ancestral worship. Although your mother may have died, or father, or somebody, the soul don't die. The soul continues to exist in different bodies depending on karma. Right? And that's why in Hinduism you will notice there are so many different rituals. Right now, this soul is in an aerial body the size of the thumb. You call it Al-Gusharir. The soul of Yasmin has seen everything, all who gathered here and so on. And what is happening, she's seeing this. Until the body is disposed of. There are different ways of disposing of a body. Burial. Long time you say about sea burial. You have cremation. If you go to India, their bodies floating down the Ganges River. There's a sect in India called the Parsis. They even feel the body should not be wasted. So they build something on a height and they put the body up there that volunteers may eat from it, food for the volunteers. The highest prescribed way of disposing of a body is by cremation. Everything goes to ashes. Then the soul returns where it was most accustomed to, the home. The soul is now in an aerial body stuck between the spiritual and the physical plane. And when you grieve, worry, sorrow, cry, it creates attachment to the soul and agitates it. From tomorrow, her nephew will begin to make offerings. On the 10th day after the funeral, a new body is formed the size of the palm of the hand called a cubit, an aerial body. The soul drops the body of the thumb and enters into this body. It is now ready to leave on a journey to the Lord. Who is the Lord? The Lord sits now on the judge's chair. Everybody had to face him one day. You can't get away. You could be who, Mr. Who. We had to face him one day up there. The journey does begin when the Bhandara is done. The journey takes one celestial day, but a celestial day equals a human year. And that's why the Hindu home enters into a state of mourning for 1 year. During the 1 year, the soul does get to stop 16 times on the way to receive offerings that are made. If they are offered, fully energized, it moves on. If not, dejectedly, it has to struggle on. At the end, before the 1 year will come, working out to be approximately 354 days, the Bhandara is performed there to complete that journey of the Atma, after which we have to face the Lord. And due to the balance of karmas, good and bad, that is how a future body is destined. It's so logical, realistic, and practical. Right? So the Lord is saying here, Krishna Bhagavan, nothing dies. But Arjuna asked him a question. Vasasani jirnani yatha vihai navani ko grihanati naroparani tatha sharirarani vihai ko jirna ko danyati sanyati navani dehi. Arjuna asked the Lord, he said, why life like this, eh? Really and truly at this age, now it's time to sit back and start to relax and live. And you hear knock, time to go. Why life had to be like this? The Lord says simply, this body is like a suit of clothes, you know. If you have a common outfit you like to wear more than the next, it will wear out faster, right? What you do, when you can't wear it again, you get a new one, either you buy or you make. He says, so to this body. When the soul feels that it can the body is no longer in a position to upkeep it, mainly due to physical deterioration, the soul is discarded to take a new one, depending on that karmic situation. He said, Arjun, nainang chidanti shastrani, nainang dahati pavaka, nachainang kaludayapuva, shoshayati maharuta. He said, this is the most ancient thing, the Atma of the soul. It has no birth, it has no death. No amount of water can drown it. No amount of fire can burn it. No weapon has yet been invented to destroy this Atma. It is part and parcel of me. It is ever immortal. Then Arjun, why fear death? Why fear death? The important thing is preparing for when the time will come. Right? And what is the best way to prepare for it? To get a good hereafter? Two things to do with this body. Par upakar. Serve the Lord and His creation with a guileless heart. Try your best and always do good as much as you can, whilst you can, when you can, as long as you can. As I say, do not sit down and wait for a good to come to you to do it, but look for opportunities to do it. And if you can't do good, better you stay quiet, because you damage your karmic bank, you see? So may the blessings of the Lord's mercy be upon this Atma, our soul. We join in prayer. Hari Om Gita Ganga Chakayatri Sita Satya Saraswati Brahmvidya Brahmavari Trisindhya Mukti Gehini Ardhamatra Chidananda Bhaudhvani Bhainashini Veda Triparayanantra Tatvarta Jnana Manjani Hari Om Sri Prem Se Boliye Sri Ram Nam Satya Hai Sabhi Ho Ghat Hai. Have anybody? Yeah? All right. Okay, we have Raj here, nephew from the family here, who will say something more about her, probably that we did not know. Right.
Namaste or Sitaram. Good day to everyone. Ina Narine, better known as Ina Suklal, came into our family many years ago, joining her hands with Ganesh, Goat Narine. Those of you who know what goat means, it's the greatest of all times. Although that is not why he was named Goat. But when she walked into our family, like a flower, you don't see a flower by itself on the tree. A flower comes with many other flowers. So she came with 12 other flowers to our family. When she joined our family, we adopted 12 other members of the Suklal family. They became one with us. Such is the strength of this person. She showed everlasting love to Goat. For those of you who know, you'll never see Goat alone. It was always Goat and Jasmine. Goat departed this world 10 years, 2 months ago. She waited that time to join with him. But as a person, I have never seen Jasmine angry. I've never seen her quarreling. And I've known her most of my life. She took care of her younger siblings. And when she came into our family, she took care of us. She was someone who you could depend on. Both know that. The family know that. Anything that this family had, the Ramnanan family, the Hardat family, the Narine family, she was always there to assist in every possible way. Nothing was too hard for her. So today, we're here to bid farewell to her, but the memory of her should always live on because she has brought a light to this family, a light that will not go out very easily. We will always remember her. And I want every one of us to always remember that she was the driving force behind Ganesh Narine. She was the driving force behind Goat and his music. I remember when I started to sing what she told me, that Raj continued doing that right here. Right here is where I started. And she always encouraged, in her own way, very simplistic. And that's one of the things I admire about her. She was a very simple soul, a very simple person. She was contented with whatever she had. So today we bid farewell to that wonderful personality that we all know as Jasmine, that flower, that fragrance that has been a part of our family. And I want to say on behalf of the Ramnanan family, myself, my wife, my children, that we will surely miss you. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Raj. You have heard so much about her. In a few minutes, we are going to leave for the crematorium at Allens and Guayco, but so many of you would have known her. If anybody wishes to express any sentiments, we leave it open for a few minutes. I kindly ask you at this time, let us stand, please. And again, if you can't stand, stay seated. What is important at this time is prayer. There's only one God in the universe, in whatever way you may know him. Ask the Lord, as we as his children, please, have mercy upon this atma or this soul. During the course of life, we do good, we do bad. Consciously and unconsciously, we ask that if wrongs were done by her to anyone, please forgive her. And if you happen to, we ask that soul of hers to forgive. Forgiveness is the Lord himself. That, oh Lord Krishna, listen to our humble prayer. We as your children put our hearts together this morning for one who has no other hope and support except at your feet. Even though during the course of life there may be wrongs that would have done. But again, the currents of the waters of this world are torrentious and deep. You're the refuge of your name makes this trip easier. Oh, merciful and compassionate Lord, your beloved Father, have mercy on this atma of the soul. For freedom from cycles of birth and death, make it difficult and impossible without your grace and mercy. Oh, Prabhu, kindly accept this atma or soul at your feet. Be pleased to keep it as your servant. We as your children, we pray on its behalf. Shri Krishna Chandra Maharaja Prabhu Binti Itani Suniye Suniye Shri Krishna Chandra Maharaja Prabhu Binti Itani O Suniye Suniye Jinke Kachu Aura Awalam Panehi Jinke Charanana O Rakhiye Rakhiye Iske Awaguna Bahute Re Hai Yahi Bar Chama O Kariye Kariye Shri Krishna Chandra Maharaja Prabhu विनती इतनी ओ सुनिए सुनिए, यह मृतक जीव को सुधारो गति, निज दास बना और रखिए रखिए। कोई पुत्री तुम्हार करे विनती, निज धाम इसी को और चाहिए चाहिए। श्री कृष्ण चंद्र महाराज प्रभु, इतनी इतनी सुनिए सुनिए, विनती इतनी सुनिए सुनिए। A poet has put some beautiful words together, describing an individual like she was. As it says, that though your smile is gone forever and your hand we cannot touch, still we are going to have so many memories of the one we love so much. We will think of you in silence and often speak your name. All we will have are memories and your picture in a frame. Our hearts will ache in sadness and our silent tears will flow. For what it meant to lose you, no one will ever know. Your memory is going to be our keepsake, which we will never part. For the Lord has you in his keeping, and we will always keep you in our heart. Hari Om Anadi Nidhalo Deva Santa Chakra Kadadhara Akshaya Putri Aksha Pretamoksha Prato Bhava Krishna Krishna